on digital radio, on the app, on your smart TV, on Twitter, YouTube, Twitch.tv, and Facebook. The Sportscast. Expect the unexpected.
The Jersey Boys Sports Talk presented by The Sportscast.
The Jersey Boys Sports Talk with Victor Arocho and Byron Jones. And here's your host, Victor Arocho.
Get it on. Let's get it on. Welcome live out of Miami, Fort Lauderdale, and Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Welcome to the Jersey Boys Sports Talk, hosted by Byron Jones and Victor Arocho, brought to you by The Sportscast. Today is November 7th, 2024. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to The Sportscast on all our channels, YouTube, X, Spotify, iTunes, Facebook. If you join us and like us on your favorite podcasting streaming service. Please review and a rating and help us out quite a lot. And we'd really appreciate you get to listen to us as we go live. You get to listen to some past and get some comments in there. Let's get talking. All righty. So, Mr. Byron Jones, welcome to the show. And let's get going for an interesting week in football. How you doing today?
I'm doing wonderful. It's like a heat wave around here, man. It's like 80 degrees today.
That's terrible. That means wherever you go, the stores are super hot because they turn the AC off.
Oh, the AC's off, yeah.
Oh God, I hated that time of the year going over there, man, because then it's just too hot. Like everywhere you go is hot. Right? You can't go to any place. They don't have air conditioning on, so it's beautiful here. So I got no complaints. Well,
we ran the house here. I didn't turn the heat on. First we turned the heat on. Then we had to turn the heat off, put the air conditioner on. Then had to put the heat back on, and then back to the air conditioning again.
Oh my God. It's terrible. And then what do you got? Gas, oil, electric?
Electric.
All right. Hold on. Let's add one of our regular guests, Mr. Kevin Tyre. Big Mr. Dolphin fan, Kevin Tyre. Welcome to the Jersey Boys Sports Talk. How you doing today, Kevin?
Thanks for having me. I'm doing pretty good today. Pretty good.
When was the last time you put the heat on?
What's that? February? No, maybe not in 2 years.
Let me tell you something. We put the heat on. it smells because like the oil.
It does. Yeah.
The coils, like what? The coils are like, what is this?
You turn it on in 2 years.
Me off. You don't turn that thing on.
All right, you finished rubbing it in, both of you.
I just figured. Well, since you brought it up, I figured Kevin's in Miami. I thought we get a good kick out of it. We get a good kick out of like what's heat? Like the only heat we got is outside.
That's it.
Yeah.
My house is at a steady 69 degrees.
Oh, okay.
And I like it even colder. So
you run at 73.
No. It's too hot for me, man. I can't function. Like if it's at anything above, once it hits, like my daughter has a tendency to turn it, but me not knowing, and I wake up in the middle of the night.
Yeah,
immediately know.
Something ain't right. Something not right.
I need it. Yeah, they say optimum sleep levels it's like 69, 67.
Yeah. Oh, that's the goal, man.
So your body has its own heat, so it's going to tear it up. All right, let's get going. We're going to talk a little bit about the recap of the Commanders and the Giants. All righty, Mr. Jones. I mean, listen, we're not getting blown out, but we're still just losing, and we still look just bad. So talk to me. I mean, you still lost another game by 5 points. If you start looking at it, we're losing by 5, we're losing by this. But the penalties, it's just an undisciplined team that doesn't seem to have any spark. What are your thoughts?
Let's see. Well, this week is the first week, probably in weeks, that I'm gonna say that Daniel Jones was not the problem of this game. It was that awful run defense that we have. They're giving up 5 yards a carry, which is probably tops in the league. Deontay Banks is supposed to be our number one corner, and for lack of effort, or maybe he's hurt, or whatever's going on with this dude, he ain't it. Gave up, I think, like his 10th touchdown pass this year, or whatever number he's given up. and they're just a bad football team. On the other side, the flip side, we got to watch, Jalen, Daniels, quarterback from Washington. Yes, he's the real deal. I wish we could have traded up to get the guy, but we didn't.
Byron, do not say that.
What?
Do not
Yes,
say
yeah,
that.
I'm gonna say it.
I'm
gonna say it.
Dude,
yes, I do.
Dude, your nose is growing so big it's coming through the screen, man. Don't be
I
lying to our fans. You were yelling at the Giant fans. We were trying to trade up for a quarterback. You've been yelling at our fans for 5 years.
But I got off I'm off that wagon, man. He pushed me up. He played well last week, but I just can't. 6 years, man, is enough. I can't take it no more. I just.
Kevin, I don't know how many times he's been on our show, but he has always yelled at our fans when they're saying, go for the quarterback, pick a quarterback, It's the first time he's actually said it. And I can't believe he's saying it. He's not denying it.
It's time to turn.
It's time to turn the page, man. Turn the page. I can't take it no more. When you had your star receiver, Malik Neighbors, was over there yucking it up with his ex-quarterback from LSU, which was Daniels. That's what I was like, you know what? That's not a good look. Your number one guy is over here messing with this guy during the game. I can see if it was before the game or after, whatever. But come on, during the game, man. Basically, it is what it is. But I'm turning the page, on Daniel Jones because I just can't take it no more. I just can't.
Well, the beauty about what you just said, that Jaden Daniels and Malik Neighbors could have been the Burrow and the Chase. You know what I mean? Right? Think about it. Didn't they both play at LSU?
Yeah.
Okay. Didn't Burrows and Chase play at LSU?
Well, one was before the other. Burrow was there first, and then they got Chase. These two would have been. They wouldn't have had Neighbors.
They wouldn't have had Neighbors. Oh, you're saying because if we would have traded, I got it.
Right.
Well, the only thing, because I always love the story that, and Kevin, I want to get your input on this. I always love the story that because Burrow went to Cincinnati, then he called up Chase and said, "Get ready, we're coming for you." Like, imagine, that just still gives me chills, right? You got your boy's an NFL quarterback starter, and he's already calling you, "Get ready, you're coming. We're going to be playing together in the highest level." And they are producing those two. There's no confusion. Those two are an awesome connection. So that's why I was trying to relate it to. Sorry, that?
They come out the same year? Or?
No, Burrows came out first. And then that's what Byron is saying. So Burrows came out first. And then when the draft came, Burrows picked up the phone and called up Chase and said, "Get ready. We're coming for you."
That's the one.
Right?
Yeah.
And it gives me chills. Imagine you getting a call from your buddy who's already an NFL starting quarterback, and he's like, "Get ready. We're picking you, and we're playing together." You know you're going to get the ball.
And he guess what? He has been getting the ball a lot.
You know you're going to get the ball. It's not like you're going to a quarterback that doesn't know you and has to get trust in you and this and that. No, even Burrows even says it. When in doubt, find Chase and throw it to Chase. That's what he said. He publicly said it, right? The difference with Jaden Daniels and Malik Neighbors, based on what Byron just said, is that them coming out of the same year, there's no way we would have got those two number one picks, right? One would have gone over the other, right? That's the downside of that. But anyhow, I don't know. Did you get a chance to see that game, or you have any comments on the Giants game or the Giants?
Well, I didn't get to check that one out.
Well, let me tell you some numbers though, because it's this deceiving. I've been looking at stats overall for several weeks, right? And the stats, no matter how they look, are not indicative of the scores, which makes it really weird. I don't know whether it's just the field goal kicking now. I don't know if it's going for fourth downs. I just don't know what it is. But when you look on paper, it's almost like either it looks like a team should have been blown out and they weren't. It looks like a team should have blew them out and they didn't. It looks like the game was really close and it wasn't. It's all over the place, right? So look, check this out. Total yards for the Washington, 358. Total for the Giants, 326. That's not a big disparity there. Passing yards, 162 for the Giants, 209 for Washington. Rushing 149, rushing for the Giants 164. At least we're finally rushing the ball. That's the only thing keeping us close in the game. Remember, Byron, I'm going to say this again. You guys were arguing with me when we were losing. Well, why you run the ball? Why run the ball? We can't run the ball. We're not getting anything. We're not getting anything passing. Now that we're running the ball, we're not getting blown out.
Yeah, but they're running the ball because they can't pass block. That's why they're running the ball.
Yeah, but we had that. We said that in the beginning of the year, and you guys were, why run the ball if you can't go? You might as well, because if we didn't keep running the ball, we wouldn't have found this running back that we have now, right? Because we went 3-4 deep.
Yeah.
And this guy was he was a receiver, converted to a running back, and he's killing it.
Yeah.
So that's at least we got Malik Neighbors, we got a running back, we got to definitely fix the line, right? And obviously we need a quarterback. Okay, look at yards per play, 5.56. First downs, 25 for the Giants, 21 for Washington. Fourth down efficiency was 2 for 2. Total plays. Difference is we allowed 2 sacks. We didn't get any sacks. So Jaden Daniels didn't get not one sack. Penalties were even. And look at time of possession. The Giants had the ball for 4 minutes longer.
So it was a pretty even game.
Even game on paper.
So were there any turnovers? That's what took the game like that.
We had one fumble lost.
Okay.
And then you got to and 2 sacks hurt you because it puts you in different positions, right?
Yeah.
You got to add the 2 sacks and a fumble lost.
Okay. And then Washington didn't have any turnovers.
No turnover, no fumbles lost, no interceptions thrown.
Yeah, that's the difference right there. The 2 sacks and
no sacks allowed.
Yeah, that's it right there. That's it. They
The one was when he came flying around the corner when they were trying to set up the screen, and Daniel Jones kind of half threw, half got hit in the ball, and they picked up. That was one of them. And then what's his name? Daniels just doesn't turn over the ball. He's only had 2 interceptions the whole year.
Yep.
Yeah, they protected the ball. That's what it is.
And remember, we said it in the beginning of the year that it's going to be the second year where the second pick outperforms the first pick.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you, Chicago. I just don't think no matter what you do. And look, they stacked that team for Caleb Williams. They got pretty good receivers. They got a good running back. I mean, they have the pieces, but they're still the Bears.
Oh, wait. Remember we were talking about that guy Stevenson. What do you think happened to him? I think he's not starting now anymore. The kid that was back there doing all what he should have been back there for the Hail Mary.
Oh yeah.
They didn't start him this game. Is that going to continue?
That was terrible.
Well, they should have fined him and not started him. He should have been penalized. Because Byron, I understand that when you guys watch films in the NFL, they even give you what do they call it? Laggard fines. Like if you don't run till the ball whistles, they fine you. Yeah. Right? So what do you call that? He wasn't even prepared when the ball was snapped. That's worse.
He was too busy messing with the fans.
I got a theory about that. I got a theory about that.
Go ahead.
Because he was over there taunting the fans, when he got over to the ball, he wasn't in a position to put 2 hands up. He could only put 1 hand up.
No.
I think if he would have been over there, he could have got 2 hands up. He could have knocked that down. But he could only get 1 hand up. The position he was in, coming from that angle.
Okay, so I'll give you that. Let's say you're right. But the objective of a defensive back, Kevin, is no one gets behind you.
Yeah, I understand.
So he shouldn't have went to tip the ball.
No, he should have been over there taunting.
He should have. Well, let's take your theory, right? Your theory is because of that he ran over there and he was only tipping the ball with 1 hand, right?
Right.
That's the theory. The other side of it, let's continue in that path. Except for instead of running to tip the ball, he should have ran to the receiver that was behind the pile all by himself. That's what your position is. You got to box him out like in basketball. So instead of running to the pile and tipping it, you can't let anyone behind you. The only ones who should be behind you is the zebra, which is the ref. So he ran into the pile. He should have ran to the guy.
Yeah.
Because even if somebody else tipped it the same way he did, he would have had the ball or knocked it down again.
Yeah.
So he
Or
made two
knock it
mistakes.
Or knock it down instead of picking it up.
Or catch it. Either or.
He
But
was
bottom
going
line is the fact that he ran to the pile and he left the guy solo behind the pile. And look, when that guy caught it, it wasn't like it got tipped and he had to jump up.
It was just in his hand.
It was just a basket catch, man. Thank you. Oh, thank you. I mean, that's
What
bad.
I got?
Yeah. Oh, snap.
But
Nobody's covering me.
That's a lot to ask a guy to in real time to go and identify that guy. You going for the ball. That's what you're gonna go. Well, my thing is, if you're coming from the side, he's coming from the side from where he's taunting, right? So he's going towards the pile. I'm saying if he would have been over there taunting, he would have been facing the quarterback and been able to knock it down with two hands. So that's shame on him.
No. I'm going to give you your first one. I'm going to disagree with your second one. Okay. Your first one, because he got caught in a moment and probably had an OS moment, moment. That's what made him really run into the pile. Because if he was facing the quarterback as the defensive back, you're looking for everyone behind you. He wouldn't even have went for the ball to tip it. He would have been just covering the guy. That's your job. Your job's not even worried about the ball. You're worried it's just blocking out the guy. You understand? Mm-hmm. So I think because he got caught off guard, that's what made him run into the ball. Because there was other defenders in that pile. It wasn't just him. He's just the one who happened to tip the ball. He messed up the first time. Mm-hmm. But if he was facing the quarterback, he would have been deep. You understand? Right. He wouldn't have come up for the ball.
Right.
Does that make sense?
That probably was you. I see what you're saying now. That probably was his position where he's supposed to have been like blocking this guy.
Safety. Exactly. No one gets behind you.
He's out of position. He's out of position.
He was out of position.
Okay, let's fix this. From a coach's position. The head coach had 3 timeouts. When somebody up in the box should identify this knucklehead running down the field, doing whatever he was doing, should identify that. They should have called a timeout and got everything together.
Yes.
And then before that, the 15-yard out that they have for them to get even closer for them to attempt that 65-yard throw. If they had defended that properly, they would have tackled him, inbounds. Clock would have ran out. Game would have been over. But
they were playing loose, Byron. So they gave him, yes, no doubt was a mistake. But the first mistake, right, let's give him a pass on that because you're playing loose, you're up, and you have a long ways to go, right? 65-yard Hail Mary is still a low percentage play. The percentage of making that happen is still low. So the percentages were on their side. Where the problem comes into, besides that guy, is how many times have you seen on defense, on goal line defense, the offense comes to line up and the coach doesn't like the alignment and calls timeout. Right? And he goes, hold on. Especially when you had 3 timeouts. So now they just figured, okay, this guy's doing this. Those coaches should have called timeout, period. That's like having 10 men on the field. Do you agree? If you're playing defense, and let's say it was close, and you were close enough to score, forget about the Hail Mary, and you realize, wait a second, we got 10 men on defense. What's the first thing you're going to do? Timeout. Okay? So what he was doing, you pretty much had 10 men on the field. So what were the coaches doing?
Not watching him.
Right. And none of those coaches took accountability for it. The only one who's holding them accountable are guys like us, the commentators. Right? But that was also a major coaching blunder, right? Because he had enough time to because he was taunting so long, right? That it was almost as long as it took for that play to take place. The seconds were almost equal. There was no reason for them not to call timeout. So, but anyhow, let's move on from there. And the Giants, so Byron has moved on from the Zach Wilson, turned the page from Zach Wilson and Daniel Jones.
Turn the page. Got to turn it. I think I'm a little bit earlier. I'm earlier this time, though.
Your New York quarterbacks are not good selections, man.
Nah.
Hey, listen to me. Washington 7-2, and let's talk about them adding. They just added another player to bolster their piece, right? So they're added Marshawn Lattimore. No, right?
Very good corner. Yep.
Yeah.
Top
Marshawn Lattimore. Okay, man, that means they're boosting that defense up. They're ready to make a run. They're smart. I mean, you got to give them credit from coaching and remember, it's Quinn that's over there, right? Dan Quinn.
Yep.
Okay, he's a defensive coach. If he's adding a defensive player, he sees what's happening, right? It's their division. Obviously everyone still thinks Philly's there. The only thing I don't like about what's happening in the NFC East lately, it seems like that the schedule keeps making it where the NFC East is playing each other only at the end of the season. That doesn't happen in the AFC East.
Yeah, that's what the computer says. The computer spits this stuff out.
Yeah, but why? But it's like the third year in a row where we're like playing, our division rivals at the end of the season, like back to back. You know what I mean? It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's like, Miami plays Buffalo early in the season. They play the Jets early in the season.
No, we haven't played the Jets yet.
Oh, you haven't played the Jets yet, but you played Buffalo. You played.
Yeah, we played Buffalo. Yeah, it depends. Sometimes we play them late in the season. They flip it,
But I'm talking about the 2 games. We're playing them like late 2 games. You guys play early one game and late in the other game, right? The second game. But in the NFC East, it seems like last year's like we played the Eagles like one, and then we played them after
3 weeks each other.
Within 3 weeks. We played them back to back. Man, that's crazy.
But you have to take into account what else is going on at those stadiums. That's taken into account also. Concerts and things of that nature.
That and probably end record and stuff. All right, well let's move on. Let's move on. Good for the Commanders. Hey, I'm happy for Jaden Daniels. We called it. I called it. Jaden Daniels is going to be good. They're going to play well. New ownership, new everything. You got to give Washington credit, and that's an embarrassment to the Giants because Washington has been bad for a long, long time. For them to flip the script like that. I mean,
we got no choice. He's been bad for a long time. That means you're getting good high draft picks. It's going to happen eventually.
And none of them working out for the last 10 years.
Yeah, it'd be like that too.
All right. So the Dak Prescott calls the Falcon game a must-win, and they lost 27-21. I'm happy about Dallas losing, huh?
And he's hurt too. Right.
And now he's hurt. $60 million hurt quarterback.
Wow.
No, $240 million. Get it right. $240 million.
Yeah, but 60 over 4.
It's 60 over 4, so $60 million this
guaranteed.
year.
He getting that money regardless.
Yeah, but I think look, he's worth it better. Who do you think he's worth it more, him or Deshaun Watson, who's getting $250 million guaranteed, and he's terrible?
Well, at least Dak is not.
At least Dak played
off the field, He's
exactly.
not.
So I mean, Dak is Dak. I never had anything bad about Dak. I just don't like Dallas, but they are, they put up more offense, passing. They had more more passing yards, and they had more rushing yards, right? But for some reason, the yards per play for the Falcons was 5.5 versus their 5.1. Dallas ran 74 total plays versus 56 from the Falcons, but they had 9 penalties for 55. Falcons only had 4 penalties for 26. Falcons had lost 1 fumble, and then the time of possession was pretty close. But I mean, they just look bad, man.
So Dallas, Atlanta didn't have any turnovers.
Atlanta allowed 2 sacks. The Dallas allowed 3 sacks, and Atlanta had 1 fumble lost, and Dallas had none, and they still lost.
Yeah,
did they put one? Did they put one broken tablet on there too?
Oh, but that
or Mike McCarthy, just slammed it down on the ground. Yeah, they should put that on there.
It's time for him to go. Time for him to go.
He's got no excuse. He blamed Kellen Moore last time, right? He's calling the plays, and they just don't. They look bad. I mean,
but
this is the worst I've ever seen Dallas look.
Yeah, but how are you going to blame him when Jerry Jones is the one that makes all the decisions? They knew they didn't have a running game. They didn't fix that. They needed another, number 2 receiver. They fixed that. They, the offensive line, the interior of their defensive line stinks. Their linebackers stink. So Jerry Jones is the one pulling the strings, in Dallas. So
they lost major coaches on defense.
Yeah.
They lost another coach. Yep.
Micah hasn't played 3 or 4 games.
Yeah, he got a high ankle sprain. But they got to pay him too, right? They in trouble, man. They got too much money out there.
And I think the whole roster has a podcast.
Dang.
Yeah,
everybody in that team has a podcast.
So they're not spending enough time working on their
craft. That Dak and CeeDee Lamb is going to count for either 46% or 50-something% of their cap.
Yeah,
Two players.
You still got to pay Micah.
2 players.
Yeah, but Micah's getting on his podcast. I think they were talking about who the top 10 quarterbacks, NFL. He didn't even say his own guy.
What?
He didn't even say his own guy. He plays with the guy. He did not have him in the top 10.
That's not cool.
But he did it.
You just throw him in there just because, even if you don't feel like, feel that way.
It is not. It is not looking good, Dallas. And then they're out, so we got problems there. All right, let's get into the next one. All right, I'm going to see your thoughts on this, Byron. We had conversations the other day. Kevin, Philly and the Jaguars. Right? What are your thoughts on Philly? Do you have any opinions on Philly?
Philly is starting to look like they're starting to run their team out together, and they're trying to build an identity. Barkley and Hurts. That's going to be a deadly combination coming down the scratch, man. And that play that he made, I thought that was fake. That was crazy, bro. Insane.
He's going to win the ESPY award on that one.
He should. And everything else.
Yeah, Byron's a hater, so he don't want to give him any credit for that.
I give him props. I ain't no Philly fan, but I give him props.
That was the greatest play I've ever seen in my history of football ever.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought Barry Sanders and Walter Payton had some crazy plays and moves. Yeah. I don't think I've ever seen anything.
But they were going forward.
I've never seen anything like this.
Not like that.
Like that. What, Byron? Whoa, what?
Well, you're saying play. Okay, don't forget OBJ, man. Come on. With the catch with one hand, falling back.
The guy with this weekend, he did a play like that.
Yeah, so did the guy from the Jets, Miles. Is it Miles? That play was awesome. So did Devontae Smith. He did a one-hand catch. You got to remember, receivers and defensive backs practice one-hand catches. So it's not like you don't practice. You don't practice backwards jumping over a guy. In fact, when we played football, Byron, we were told never to leave your feet.
They're told never to leave their feet too.
Well, I don't think so, not anymore, because I see everybody's trying to jump over everybody. You understand? Yeah. So, and I think the reason,
one time.
But I think the reason why it's easier to jump over guys now is because guys got to be careful where they hit them.
Right.
You know what I mean? So they're already going. They're going low. And so the guys are jumping over them. You know what I mean? Because any higher, they're risking the fact the guy. All the guy has to do is duck his head, and he gets helmet to helmet. It's harder for a defensive player.
But look how bad these guys tackle.
They don't.
I'm just saying, look how bad they tackle. They sit there.
They don't tackle anymore.
They don't. They don't even really hit. They sit there. They dive at these guys' legs. What do they always tell you? Keep your head up and just looking at your target.
Right.
If you're ducking down like this and this guy's jumping over top of you, that's your fault because you weren't looking, to see where he was.
Right, but that's why I'm saying that I think that's why it's making it easier for guys to leap over guys because guys are going low. You know what I mean? Oh. And so before, when they didn't have to worry about, getting penalized for defense, because what happens is if the guy ducks his head, even though you're normal to duck your head, and you hit him helmet to helmet, you're going to get penalized. Yeah. So they're going low.
And it's safer to get up in the air. You definitely don't want to get cut low and get that cleat stuck in the grass. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
or the turf or whatever.
The way we teach these guys to tackle is you keep your head, you wrap and you squeeze and you roll, wrap, squeeze and roll. That's what. But you got to keep your head up. And we try to, like the little guys in high school, we try to tell them to keep their head up. But when you watch these guys in the NFL, how many do you see when they go flying in there, their heads down? I can't tell you how many times that happens. And it's just.
Well, I was always taught, numbers. Boom, face mask to the number and wrap and go through.
Yeah.
Go through,
run
right?
through the tackle, yeah.
Go through and try to get your helmet on the ball side, right?
Mm-hmm.
But let me tell you,
you can't do that no more.
What? No, yeah.
We don't teach that anymore.
The Philadelphia, again, our buddy Eric isn't joining today, but they won 28-23. And Byron, you and I talked about this. I want to talk to you about our fans. Is look, Philadelphia looked really good last week. I don't think they look this good this week. Playing against a 2-7 Jaguar team, they were 1-7. They were 2-6 going into this, and Philly was 5-2. They won by 5 points with a poorly thrown ball, poor decision by an expensive quarterback in Trevor Lawrence. On the first down, he had 4 plays, throws an interception in the red zone. Okay, and they won 28-23. And look at this. They were winning 16-0 at halftime, right? It was tie already by the third quarter. They lost the second half. They put up 23. They put up 23 points to 12 points for the Eagles in the second half. That's not a powerful team.
How many times did Nick Sirianni go for 2?
Yeah, he made some. They were bad coaching. He went for 2 several times. Yeah, no, it's true. He went for 2 several times. There was no reason for him to make those decisions at that time.
No.
What they call it, the algorithm?
His algorithm is going to be he's out of a job. That's the algorithm. But
Big Dom, is it? Big Dom.
They won by 5 points. They put up 447 total yards of offense versus 215, and they only won by 55 points. That's bad coaching. How do you dominate? They dominated this game. They had the ball. Listen to me. They had the time of possession. They had the possession for close to 17 more minutes than the Jaguars. How do you have the ball for more than a quarter and win by 5 points?
Yeah. So you had games like that, ugly games.
Well, they had. Wait a second. They're 6-2. They've had 7 ugly games.
Wow.
They've only had 1 good game.
That'll catch up with you at the end of the season.
And that's the only problem. That's why I said they on paper they're a really good team. Okay, but between the coaching and something's going on there, I'm not going to be a believer until I still think they have a really good team. They have the makings. They have the running back now. They're putting up yards, but you're not going to win it by letting another team score 23 points on you. Look at Byron, like you said. Look at 155 yards they gave up passing.
The problem is Nick Sirianni thinks he's smarter than everybody else. That's the problem. And my prediction today is if they make it to the playoffs and they lose the first game in the playoffs, he's out.
Yeah.
Out.
Well, they're 6-2. It's going to be interesting. Let me see. When do they play Washington?
I think they play them soon. Next.
Let's see. See, they beat up on the Bengals. That was a good game. Then they lose, and the Bengals are better team than Jaguars. Then they just do terrible things against the Jaguars. They play the Cowboys next, which should be a win. Oh, in 2 weeks they play the Washington.
Was it Thanksgiving Day or the week before Thanksgiving?
It's looks like it's the week before Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because we play
Thanksgiving. The Thanksgiving. No. The Eagles play on Thanksgiving. They play against the Rams.
I think we played at Thanksgiving too.
And then you may be playing. I'll show you now. Okay. Well, anyhow, so we got the Eagles covered, Dallas. We got the Giants and thing. All right, let's go. I'll tell you who's Miami playing. Miami loses by 3 points. Another game. Let me tell you something. What a massive difference Tua makes to that offense. I mean, he comes in and you guys weren't even scoring 10 points. He comes in, he's already putting up 20-something points.
He's the engine that makes that run. But the injury thing, that's the thing.
Yeah,
that's the thing. And that defense, our defense, man, I was so disappointed in them last week.
Well, the Bills put up 373 yards of total offense versus Bills 325.
Mm-hmm.
Passing yards 231 to 224. Rushing yards, you got 149 rushing. I like that running back you got. Right, this game you guys should have won this game. You had rushing, you had 6.2 yards per play versus 5.5. You had let's see where the problem was. They both allowed one sack and the fumble. Yep.
The fumble was the thing, and then you got the kicker. He missed the extra point, and then the next extra point he dings it off of the goalpost, and then he kicks a 61-yard at the end of the game. It's like, come on, man, come on.
Yeah, I mean, you guys
crazy, man.
You guys don't play on Thanksgiving, bro.
He cleared that by a lot. The 61-yard.
Yeah, a lot. He could have got about 70, I think. That was
it was impressive.
They killed that one.
Well, let me tell you, you guys, it's sad. I mean, for Tua to get hurt and then all of a sudden, 13 is preseason. Let me see. Look, you lost by 1 point to the Cardinals. Right? Like the Cardinals, they think the Cardinals are the real deal. What do you think about that, Byron? Look, you put up 27 points.
Oh, this dude,
you put up 27 and 27. No, their running back is tough.
No, I was at that game at Marvin Harrison Jr. Oh boy, he's gonna be something else, man. This dude can catch it from every angle, man.
Well, here's the funny part. Yeah, Tyler Murray against who's this game? Against the Dolphins. Yeah, Tyler Murray threw for 307 yards.
Oh, he's balling out. We couldn't get him on the ground.
Yeah. And then receiving, Marvin Harrison he's got Trey McBride got 124 yards. Marvin Harrison got 111 yards. I mean, just between those two guys. But the funny part is, Tyler Murray was like saying, well, my job isn't just to throw to Marvin Harrison. Then the following week, he started throwing to Marvin Harrison. It's changed the whole dynamic of the game. Yeah. But they're 4-4. I mean, I'm still think the Cardinals. I'm not impressed too much with the Cardinals. But I will tell you that it's sad to see what happened to the Dolphins based on last year. It's almost like you got to wait another year again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
but I'm a homer, and we're gonna go 11-6.
Whoa!
Yeah, we're gonna sweep it, man.
You worse than me.
Oh my God, dude. No, he's what I call a typical Dolphin fan.
Of course. What am I saying? I got
it. Dude, he's saying they're gonna win 9 straight games, bro.
That's right. 9 straight games.
Okay, let me tell you who you got coming up. Okay,
Victor.
Yeah, okay. Yes, sir.
Guess who's gonna be their backup quarterback next year, Miami?
Not Jones, please. We can't. No. Shoot, no.
Daniel Jones is coming to Miami next year.
Y'all can have him. No, sir. No, sir. No,
he's going to be a backup to resurrect his career. Watch,
Kevin. You got to admit, you do need a decent backup.
We do. We have the worst backup in the league.
That was a major. That was a major piece that people were making comments of.
You got to get us one. You got to get us one.
You got to have a decent backup. Even I would have taken Flacco. You know what I mean? But you need a decent backup.
All the heat. It's too hot.
I just think that you need someone because Tua is injury prone. Someone just can keep you in the running. You know what I mean? Just keep you in the running until Tua can come back. Okay, so you play the Rams, the Raiders, the Patriots, the Packers. Packers are going to be tough. Jets are always tough. You play the 49ers. That's tough. Playing the Texans. That's tough. Browns is easy, and you play the Jets a second time.
11-6. 11-6.
Wow.
I see 11-6 right there.
I don't know. I don't see you running the table.
Don't run
it. Maybe going 7-2, right? Which would put you at what? 9 and
8.
9-8. That would be a decent comeback for a season.
That might get us in. Get us in.
But yeah, that is. All right. Well, let's see what's going on.
11-6.
All right. You got. Aren't we trying to trade Slation? He's in concussion protocol. Going to Germany.
The trade deadline's over. It was over Tuesday, so he ain't going. All right. Nowhere.
And then you got Giants are headed to Germany. That's a long trip.
That's a long flight.
That's a long flight. I just came back from there.
That's a long. When I went, it was from Texas, the Bangor, Maine, to Greenland, to Germany.
Wow.
Military. Come on, man.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, no. I went from Miami to Charlotte to Germany to Frankfurt, and then from Frankfurt to Charlotte to Miami.
Yeah, well, no. I was courtesy U.S. military, and it sucked. It was a long flight.
Let me tell you, the flight
going there, Rocky, all the way.
The flight going there wasn't so bad, but the flight coming back was awesome. I got upgraded to business class. I was in one of those lounge things, Brian. I was all the way back, man. They fed me 3 times.
Nice.
They gave me hot cookies.
Yeah,
nice.
They gave me chocolates. You had snack. There was a snack like a concession area where you just walk up to. It was, man. They gave you a Bang and Bolson, whatever the name of that. Bang. That's the headsets they gave you.
Right.
And I was like, man, a lot of people not walk out of here. You know why? Just before you land, they come and collect all of them.
Oh yeah.
But man, that thing was noise canceling. I was watching shows, movies. I fell asleep. It was the best flight. And then the sad part was I did that so I could be rested, so I could go back because I had a lot of work to do. I ended up getting sick the following week.
Yeah.
So let's see. What did I have when I went to Germany? I had an MRE, a spaghetti meatball MRE with a blueberry crumb cake that was dehydrated. You had to pour water in there and a bottle of water.
Yeah,
it was scrumptious.
That sounds like a nice business class. That's a business class.
I had a choice of champagne, whatever I want. I don't drink, so I didn't have any of that. But they fed me a meal, then a second meal, then a post dessert. Then they brought out cookies. Then they had a place where you could pick out any snack you wanted. The thing reclined it all the way back. It was the best trip I had, man. Let me tell you something.
400 knuckleheads squeezed on a plane together.
Yeah.
That's funny. All right. Saints, what do you think about, what do you think about the Saints firing Dennis Allen, head coach?
What, they've lost 7 in a row?
They were looking great at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, they won for 2 and then they lost 7 in a row.
Straight in a row.
Yeah, he got to go. He lost the locker room. You lose the locker room, you're done.
Yeah,
you're done.
I'm not too sure how the Eagles locker room is doing, but there's something going on there.
They winning. Winning match that type of stuff. Once they start like last year, they start losing. Once they start losing, then it's going to be chaos.
But let's talk about the Detroit game, right? Let's do this for the Jones family, right? Or the Wilson family. They won. Look at this. They won 24-14. Let me tell you something. The 2 teams that I'm surprised that are not playing that well, I thought they would, is Green Bay and the Texans. Would you agree with that?
Well, the Texans got a lot of injuries with the receivers. They're missing one of their receivers, and the offensive line is not blocking. The way they did for him last year, and he's just not. He's a good quarterback. He's just not. The guy the way he was last year. And in Green Bay, Jordan Love is coming off an injury. I think he had a groin injury or something that he had, and that affected him. But they're both good quarterbacks. Just injuries and just injuries derail that train.
Well, check out this stat. These stats here. This is what I was telling you at the beginning, Kevin, about the numbers. The total yards put up by Green Bay was 411, 273 in the air, 138 rushing. Those are some pretty good numbers.
Exactly.
Detroit only put up 261 yards, and they still won by 10 points. Okay, they rushed for 124 and passed for 137, right? But let's see where the gap was the most.
Turnovers.
Well, the penalties were 10 for 67 on Green Bay. 10 penalties is a lot. 5 on Detroit for 51. 1 no fumbles lost and an interception thrown by Jordan Love. But the funny part is they controlled it. They must have controlled the game because they had the ball for at least a couple minutes more. But they still won by 24-10. They're the real deal. Let me tell you something. I mean, Jared Goff is playing lights out. I mean, he was 18 for 22. I think one game he was like 23 for 24. I mean, his efficiency is through the roof. I mean, he's playing some really, really good football. Let me see if I can see some more of his stats here.
Jared but with them, they could either throw the ball or they could run. They could run the ball with Montgomery and Gibbs, the kid from Alabama. They can kill you either way, whatever way. And then they prove to people, because they're an indoor team. They play indoors all the time. They played out in the rain, and look what they did to Green Bay, outdoors.
Well, I mean, look at his rating. His rating this year so far is 109, 129, 140, 115 for the regular season. He's over 100 in passer rating.
Yep.
I mean, he is playing lights out. You got to give Detroit's the real deal. I think Detroit's got to run for the NFC title.
And then they turn around and they traded for edge rusher too. They got Darius Smith. I think they got from Cleveland.
Yes,
I think that's great.
Yeah, they lost the main guy, right? Henderson or Hendrickson.
Hutchinson. Yeah, for the season. Yeah.
Yeah.
St. Brown had only 56 yards. I mean, he's throwing the ball. Look at this. Receiving, he threw the ball to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different players he threw the ball to.
Wow.
That's the only problem I see. The only problem I see with Detroit is their secondary. Their secondary is kind of, they addressed it. They got 2 Alabama kids back there, Brian Brooks and Teron Arnold, but they're kind of the secondary. If they play a team that has good receivers, they're gonna have to outscore them because their secondary is kind of probably the weakest part of their team.
Well, they gave up 273 yards passing. That's a lot. That's a lot of yards. But they're only held them to 2 touchdowns, so they're giving up a lot of yards. Just not letting them in the end zone.
Get a little stingy in the red zone.
Mm-hmm. So we'll see what happens. But what do you think is going to happen tonight's game? Ravens and the Bengals. Who do you have?
I'm going with the Ravens.
Where are they playing?
Baltimore.
Ravens, man. Ravens at home.
Ravens versus. Okay. I'm going to take the Bengals.
I'm taking the
Are you doing like I normally? Are you going opposite like I do now?
I'm going the opposite. Number 1 and number 2. Burrows is hot. Burrows, he's cooking up, and in fact, they're already leading 7-0.
Joe Cool.
They're lucky. They're lucky. Lucky.
Let me tell you, Burrows is playing some good. His last few games, he's been playing some good ball, man. I mean, look, they have. They put up 41 points against the Raiders, right? They lost to the Eagles, which was a bad game, but then they won and beat the Browns is easy. They beat the Giants was easy, right? They lost to the Ravens the first time, but only by 3 points. So this is their second time they're playing.
Raiders. Come on, man. They beat the Raiders. The Raiders are fired everybody. They fired the OC, the secondary. They fired everybody like last week. It's the Raiders.
Antonio Pierce around.
He's the secretary.
I just don't think the Ravens are as powerful as a team they thought they were, and I don't know
What?
I think something they're so used to having such a good defense. I just think they should give the ball way more to Henry.
He's got over 1,000 yards.
Yards, yeah, but on not a lot of carries.
You don't want to run the poor guy to the ground.
Yeah, they don't need him. They brought him in to
need him
beat
later on in the
Kansas
season.
City. That's their kryptonite, Kansas City.
Let me tell you something. They started off the season not too good, and then they started doing well when they started giving Henry the ball.
But you don't want to give him the ball 30, 35, 40 times a game. Now you want to save him until the playoffs.
Yeah.
I just want him to get the ball at least 20 times. That's it. Give him the ball at least 20 carries a game. What's wrong with that?
That's a lot, man. You don't want to give him that much.
How much do you think you want to give him? What do you want average giving him the ball?
15, man. I want to save him till the end of the year.
15.
I want him to make it till the end of the year.
Need him for
15,
that
20 times a game. That's it. That's all you need him for.
If you don't make it there, what good is it? I mean, I think he's a running back. He's supposed to get the ball.
Not that much.
What, they got 10 weeks to go? That's a long time.
Long season. And he's already got 1,000 yards already. He's over 1,000.
Let me see what's his
need him, especially when they get cold. They're gonna need him because they're gonna have to run.
I know that, but they're giving him the ball in games 24 times. I mean, he's got 1,052 yards. He's got 168 carries, 11 TDs. He's averaging 6.3 a carry.
Oh my God!
How many games did they play so far? 9. What, 9 games?
Yeah.
Yeah, 9. Like 9 games.
Let's say that he's carried the ball. He's carried the ball how many times? 168 over. What is it, 9 games? What is that?
So that's less than 20 carries. 20 carries a game. So
there you go. He's good.
You got 78. Yeah, it's less than 20 carries a game.
That's all you need to do. That's good. That's a good load management. That's good.
Oh my God, you're killing me, man. I don't know. I think. Look, what's their record? 6-2. The Ravens.
Yeah. Ravens 6-2.
Let me see.
Load management, like the basketball players get.
Load management. The Ravens are
load
6-3. And they're going to be 6-4 tonight. Let's see what they got so far. Who's got it? My slide, got game highlights. Who's favored? Ravens are favored, I think.
Of course, they're at home. Yeah.
Ravens giving up for 6. We'll see what happens. I don't know. I'm still not convinced. Right now, give me your top 5 in the league right now, Byron. If you had to select your top 5 teams.
Kansas City, Baltimore, Buffalo.
In that order, or no? You just give me 5.
In that order. Buffalo.
You got Baltimore number 2 over Detroit?
Yes. I was getting ready to get to Detroit next.
Oh my God.
And the Washington Commanders number 5.
Okay, so you got Kansas City, Baltimore.
1.
Go ahead.
Buffalo.
Who's Buffalo?
Detroit.
And then
Washington Commanders.
All right. Kevin, who do you got?
Miami Dolphins. I'm just kidding.
Kevin, I gotta put you. I'm gonna put you back in the green room. I'm gonna put you back in the green room.
Don't do that. Don't do me like that. It's not gonna be an order. I say Kansas City, the Ravens, Detroit. Who else? trying to think of Buffalo, and I guess Washington. Yeah.
All right. I would
right
say
now. That's right now. But all that.
That's right now. I'm just asking about right now.
9 weeks. That all changed, man.
It's week by week, right?
Yeah.
So you got. I would have Kansas City, Detroit, Buffalo. Who am I missing? Kansas City, Detroit,
49ers,
Buffalo,
49ers, Eagles.
49ers suspect.
Yeah, it's just I'm torn between. I'll put Washington up there, and I'm torn between Baltimore and Philly because Philly's got the potential. They got on paper they're a good team. They got all the makings. The only problem is AJ Brown's hurt again. No, Byron.
Supposedly, I think he's hurt again.
I think he's hurt again, and he's a major factor in that team. So I'm just not convinced with Baltimore anymore. I think they're up and down. So we'll see what happens. But that's my top 5. I kind of said 6. I'm just in between Baltimore and Philly. I don't know which one I'd have in my top 5, right? But I just Philly's got the makings a little bit better. Baltimore, I just Derrick Henry was an excellent pickup for them, and it just still doesn't seem like they dominate. I mean, they lost to the Browns.
Yeah.
I mean, you lost to the Browns. I mean, Jameis Winston put up 300 yards.
Come on, man. Jameis Winston is a pretty good quarterback. He's not that bad.
He is, but he's a backup, older quarterback. That's the backup of the backup. I mean, he put up 300 yards, 3T. He's up there. He's been in the league for a long time.
What? Him? No.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
About 10 years. He's been in about 10 years.
Yeah, man.
I don't think he's been a 10.
Bro, let me tell you something. It's been my kid's been out of college for 7 years, and he wasn't there when they were in college. So yeah, he's been there.
He's a decent backup though. He's a decent backup.
I like him. Don't get me wrong. It's just that
he's a career backup now.
He's 30 years old.
Well, that ain't that bad. Come on.
No, that's Jared Goff's age. He's a big guy. How long is it? He doesn't say how long it's been a year.
6'5", no?
He's a big guy, yeah. He is 6'4".
231. And he came out in 2015. Ain't that long.
Yeah, so that's 9 years, almost 10 years.
9 years.
Yeah, I mean, but he's Jared Goff's age. Why do I think Jared Goff seems younger than Jameson Winston? I'm not sure.
Nah, he's older.
All right. Well, hey, Kevin, I really appreciate you bringing on our show.
Thank you for having me, man. Appreciate it.
Who do you guys got coming up this week? Let me see.
Play the Rams. I mean, not the Rams, but the Rams. LA Rams.
Yeah, the Rams coming up. Rams are always up and down. You never know. Yeah. But you guys are. I would have liked to see you guys squeaked out one of those games with Tua coming back. He put up 27 points in 2 back-to-back games.
Right.
You know what I mean?
He's the engine that makes it run. And so we do 9 in a row. Here we go.
9 in a row, Byron. Remember that. They're gonna turn the switch. They're gonna turn the light switch, Byron. They're gonna turn it on. They're gonna run the table. Well, Kevin, thank you for joining our show.
Right.
Byron, don't forget. Thank you for everything. I like Detroit. Detroit's looking good. All right, don't forget to tune in our show every Thursday. What time, Byron? 8 p.m. live YouTube. If you like what we hit, live. Smash the like button if you like it. Please tune in our show. Share our show. And please, if you want, you have some comments, come on our show, bring some comments. I shouldn't even check the comments today. I'm taking a little bit out of it. This came back from a network event. But all right, well, you guys have a great weekend. God bless you and your families. And thank you for joining the Jersey Boys Sportscast. And we will see you next Thursday. And let's go. And let's go Bengals.
Happy Veterans Day, Byron.
Yep. Happy Veterans Day, Byron. Peace.
All the veterans out there.
Yes, sir. All right.
God bless. Bye.
Thanks.